Three California natives return to the Amgen Tour of California, chasing their destiny. Katie Hall, just 1 second out of the race lead last year. Megan Garnier, after a disappointing 2017, looks for redemption. And the hottest sprinter in the country right now, Corinne Rivera, looks for stage wins at the Amgen Tour of California. Welcome to Elk Grove, California, home of the finish of Stage 1 of the Amgen Tour of California women's race, empowered with SRAM. Brad Soner here with Laura Winter for an exciting finish today. Laura, an incredible field racing in this year's race. Let's talk about some of the GC favorites. Who should we be looking for in the yellow jersey competition?
Well, if the GC battle is anything to go by from last year, where the race was won by Anna van der Breggen by just 1 second, then it's going to be an incredible win. Of course, Katie Hall was the rider who finished just behind Anna van der Breggen on sprint bonuses last year. Katie is one to watch. She's won Redlands, Tour of the Healer and the Joe Martin stage race in the run-up to this race. She is in impeccable form. Another rider to look out for is Megan Garnier. She's coming back from, by all accounts, a torrid 2017. She started the year with a really bad concussion and she finished it at the World Championships crashing out with a broken jaw. But she's now back and she's racing really well. She finished third at Flèche Wallonne in the Ardennes towards the end of April and then won the Tour de Yorkshire as well with a pretty stunning summit finish win on the Côte de Cowan Calf. So really, she's definitely one to watch here, and of course racing on home soil as well. So for her, this is a race very, very close to her heart. A bit of an unknown factor, but certainly one to watch. Kasia Niewiadoma of Canyon SRAM, the Polish rider. She's won Trofea Binder already this season and picked up a couple of podiums as well. She may not be acclimatized, however, to the altitude here and indeed to the wider roads, which are very different to the road she's used to racing on in the European races. So it'll be interesting to see how she copes, but certainly one to watch.
An incredible field here at the Amgen Tour of California women's race, empowered with SRAM. We had a chance to catch up with some of the favorites before the start this morning.
Katie, this is a race you lost last year by just 1 second. How motivated are you to reverse that result this year round?
Yeah, this is my home race. I would really like to win it 1 second last year or not. Like, this is just one of my favorite races of the calendar. And I'm here and ready to fight for the win.
You're definitely ready. Tour of the Healer, Joe Martin stage race, Redlands Cycling Classic as well. You're in unbelievable form coming in. How confident are you?
I feel confident in my form, but I also feel that I haven't gone up against these European riders yet this year, so I have no reference in comparison to them. So a little bit unknown, confident myself, but I think it's an unknown challenge for me too.
Best of luck today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Megan, you're coming into this race, and I know a home race to you very much dear to your heart. In great form after a good spring, how much confidence do you have in the legs?
Yeah, you can never have too much confidence. You can never underestimate your competition and treat your competition with respect. So, yeah, nerves going into the week, but today I just need to kind of save my bullets for stage 2 where the GC will really shake up.
And is there pressure for you this race? You're 2016 champion, you won a stage last year, it's a race you know well. How much pressure are you under?
A lot of pressure, but I'm trying to distribute it amongst my team. Ask them how they like that. Yeah.
Thanks very much, Megan. Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at the map for the 3 days of racing here. The 2018 Amgen Tour of California. It starts with a mostly flat day in Elk Grove. We're expecting the sprinters here.
We are indeed then. It's the day for the climbers, and indeed the GC battle hots up in South Lake Tahoe for stage 2.
Huge day in Tahoe with a massive climb up to the summit at Heavenly there, and then we return back to Sacramento for a circuit race around the state capitol. Laura, now let's talk about some of the sprint favorites. A sprint day today, mostly flat. We are expecting a field sprint at the finish today. Who should we be watching for there?
I think one name is on everybody's lips here in California, Corinne Rivera, the American, the first American man or woman to win the Tour of Flanders as well. She came into this race last year with 2 World Tour wins under her belt, including that Flanders victory, and then picked up the stage here at Elk Grove as well. 2018 hasn't been her year so far. She's not yet had a win. And she's not really come close. She's had a bit of bad luck, to be honest, over in Europe with mechanicals and crashes at really crucial parts of the race where positioning is key. And so Corinne Rivera will be very hungry indeed for a win, and I know there'll be added motivation for her. She has friends and family in abundance here in California rooting for her. So racing in that kind of atmosphere will, I think, spur her on. She's definitely one to watch out for. Other names in the mix, though. You've got some sprinting sisters. The Schneider sisters, of course, and Kendall and Alexis Ryan. Alexis has had a breakthrough spring. She's definitely one to watch today. Canyon SRAM will be all in for her. Nettie Edmondson and Chloe Dygert, two big names to watch as well in terms of track riding. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how the world champions on the track transcend here onto the road. What are their legs capable of? They'll be fast, but will they endure the length of the stage for a sprint finish?
Lots of great sprinters here at the Amgen Tour of California women's race, empowered with SRAM, but all eyes on Corinne Rivera. We caught up with her before the start this morning.
Corinne, you won a very similar stage to this one last year. Is this a chance for you today to get that first win in 2018?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we take every chance by the horns, and yeah, it's extra confidence to know that we had done well last year, and yeah, and plan ahead as well in the GC a little bit.
And is that added motivation, perhaps pressure for you racing here, knowing friends and family are on the sidelines cheering?
I think it's just more enjoyable, you know. Yeah, I love having the family here and familiar faces and hearing the fans cheer, so it's extra motivation to hear my name.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
77.1 miles of racing on tap for Stage 1, presented by Visit California today as they leave Elk Grove and head south before returning back to the start line.
They do indeed. 33k to go. They will face the intermediate sprint, the one and only intermediate sprint of the day, before coming back into Elk Grove for what is expected to be a bunch finish.
Just a couple turns inside the final 3 kilometers, then they make that left-hand turn and it's head on to Elk Grove. Almost pan flat as we take a look at the profile here. Not a whole lot of climbing out here, not a whole lot of opportunities to get away or attack.
No, not at all. And if the wind is blowing, it could cause some splits in the bunch.
Stage 1 is going to be in Elk Grove. It's going to start in Elk Grove. It's going to finish in Elk Grove. It is a flatter stage. I think some of the factors that can be out there are winds can pick up throughout the day. There could be breakaways, because you have to remember, teams have come here as a Women's World Tour race to win. So some teams are very stacked with sprinters and some teams may not be. Some teams are focused on GC, which may allow a breakaway to happen. However, I think the strongest teams here have a sprinter to defend. So expect on Stage 1 a sprint finish.
Starting the day in beautiful Elk Grove, just outside of downtown, not far from Sacramento, the capital city of California. Perfect conditions for bike racing today.
It's a beautiful day for bike racing. The sun is shining, it's warm. The wind is blowing though, and it could pick up throughout the course of the day, and indeed perhaps be a headwind down that finishing straight, which will make the sprint that little bit more complicated.
Neutral start for the peloton as they rolled off the start line in Elk Grove. Great crowds coming out to support this women's field. Everyone wants to see the best in the world racing in California.
Fantastic to see so many fans roadside here to see off, as you said, Brad, some of the best female riders in the world, and riders who have got a fair bit of pressure on their shoulders as well. Not least Megan Garnier, who of course is coming back from a torrid 2017. The Schneider sisters there, who could be up in the sprint today, and Corinne Rivera still seeking that first win of 2018, and on Californian soil as well.
Yeah, this would be a big win for any of the American riders. Here's Kajani Wadama, another big favorite for the Canyon SRAM team.
She really is, and first time here for her in California, first time on these big wide roads, and indeed racing at altitude, of course, in Tahoe tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see how she gets on as we see attacks begin to fly from the front of the bunch as racing is now on.
That was Hagens, Berman, Superman attacking off the front, but this is a problem for Katie Hall, one of the GC favorites, wearing number 1 on her back for United Healthcare, trying to get back to the team car. Looks like they're going to adjust it on the bike.
Of course, Katie Hall last year, she lost by 1 second. That has got to hurt, but what motivation for her to come back. Home soil once again, she's Californian born, to come back here and try to, I guess, just shake the demons off from last year and to see what she's capable of. She's in phenomenal form as well. She won Redland Cycle Classic, she won Tour of the Healer, and she won the Joe Martin stage race. There is no stopping her right now on those climbs, and she seems pretty relaxed as well.
Katie Hall, incredibly confident coming into this week after the season that she's had racing domestically here in the United States. She's ready to perform on the world stage. So, mechanic, just checking out the drivetrain here. This could be a shifting issue, just trying to make sure that everything is dialed in perfect. Katie Hall is one rider that likes to get things just right.
But of course, what Katie Hall hasn't experienced is racing against the European teams, the likes of Nieuwedome, of Garnier, who have been over in Europe the whole spring and racing in and out, week in, week out with each other. And she hasn't experienced that, and I think that's what she's looking forward to, with a mixture of sort of anticipation and excitement, and I think a few nerves in there as well.
Some pros to the unknown form, but some cons as well. You're kind of the underdog or the favorite. It's a tough place to be for Katie Hall right now, but her concern is really just staying out of trouble. Today on the sprint stage, she'll be focusing on Tahoe tomorrow.
Of course, while all eyes are on the sprinters today, and Sunweb will be trying to shepherd Corinne Rivera hopefully into that winning position over the finish line in Elk Grove. They'll also have Ruth Winder in there, and they'll need to protect her, as will USA Cycling need to protect Megan Garnier, as well as sprinting for the Schneider sisters.
Garnier racing with the USA Cycling national team, not racing with her Bowles Dolman's trade team, so she gets some new teammates here. That's also an unknown. How well do these riders ride together? Most of them have ridden together at some point in their career, but it's hard to get that rhythm back with a new group of riders.
It'll be really interesting to see how that team gels and meshes together, because Bowles Dolman's have been such a dominant force in Europe over the spring, and now Megan Garnier in I guess, unknown water.
Here's another attack off the front. This is going to be Starlet Teddergreen from the Hagens-Berman Superman team. Teddergreen has been another American rider that has just been on fire. Had a great ride at the Redlands Bicycle Classic just a week ago, so she is clearly looking for good results here at the Amgen Tour of California. Going to need some help, though. This is a tough place to be out there by yourself, and here you go. She's going to get it from Ingrid Drexel.
Yes, reinforcements on the way from the Mexican champion of Team Tibco. Of course, she's won medals in the time trial at the Pan American Games, so she definitely knows how to get out front and put herself in the hurt locker. This could be a good breakaway.
Interesting to see two of the smaller teams getting into the breakaway here. They've really got to create opportunities where they can, because they know if they just wait and line this up for a sprint, they're going to have to get through riders like Corinne Rivera and her Sunweb train.
The pace today, though, has been so fast, almost 46 kilometers an hour average. And look, the peloton are not willing to let any riders get too far up the road. They've already brought them back. That brake's been swallowed up. They've put the hammer down and said, nope, not today.
All right, so group all back together as we hit the reset button back in the peloton. Riders making their way over one of the many bridges on the course today, one of the trademarks of California here over the river as they make their way back into Sacramento. Taking it easy over that section one to make sure that everyone stays safe and upright.
It is looking relatively easy, relaxed in the bunch, but we are seeing more attacks flying off the front, and this looks like it could be Whitney Allison and Lisa Morzenti, two riders from, again, small teams. This is what you see in the breakaways. These riders looking to put their name out there on the front of the road. We do have another Hagens-Berman Superman Pro Cycling rider out in front. That is 30-year-old Whitney Allison, and we have a 20-year-old B Pink rider as well, Morzenti, out there in front. Now, Morzenti, she was 24th in the individual time trial at the World Championships last year, aged just 20. So clearly a bright star for the future, and one with some time trialing ability as well.
Looks like they're working pretty well together. Both riders willing to put in some poles here. Whitney Allison taking a look back and waiting for Morzenti to take her pole up on the front. You've got to work together in a situation like this. So if these two can get a rhythm worked out, they may have a shot of making it back to the line.
Absolutely, you could see there Morzenti just looking round, a little flick of the elbow as well to say, Allison, come through, take your turn on the front. They're working well together, and they'll be looking to build up a gap, 45 seconds to a minute, and hopefully over that minute marker for them to really enjoy this chance out on the road.
It's been really aggressive riding from the Hagens-Berman Superman team so far today. We saw Starlet Teddergreen earlier in the breakaway, and now they're going for the sprint line.
Morzenti taking that one, then Allison in second. And now, of course, we're going to have the sprint for third. That will be coming from the bunch. And indeed, that sprint, of course, last year the race was down to sprint bonuses and those intermediate time checks. So these times bonuses they can get on that sprint are crucial. They could be crucial. The sprint for third will be coming out of that bunch. As we look now at Whitney Allison just beginning to put the hammer down herself, and she's out here trying to get a little bit of a gap.
Allison is hammering it right now, putting in a massive dig here in the breakaway, and she's going to find herself alone here because she has just put too much watts into this. Back over the bridge now as Whitney Allison may be able to smell victory at this point.
This is a courageous move indeed, dropping your fellow breakaway rider, knowing that you had a chance there to sit on a wheel. She said, no, I'm not sticking around, we're going to go up the road and I'm going to give this everything I've got. And you know, I bet that gap is creeping back and she'll be getting those time checks, but she keeps on going. Looking over her shoulder now though, it looks like her time is up at the front of the race, but a courageous effort nonetheless.
Yeah, great ride today for Whitney Allison. Morzenti off the front as well. They had a good go at it, but this field is just too strong for the breakaway. The sprinters teams have this dialed in.
Allison was 7th at the Cascade Cycling Classic recently, so she's come into this race in good form and definitely looking to make a name for herself on American soil, but also among some of the best European riders who've come over. She looks over her shoulder, takes a quick drink, rehydrates, and that's it, job done for her.
You can see some teams already lining up in the peloton. They're getting ready for this sprint coming up at the finish, but it is a long way to the finish in Elk Grove. So this is the art of the race. At 5 kilometers to go, you want to be near the front but not at the front. A lot of trains controlling here. This may be too early to hit the front.
You've got Team 2020 there. They're already on the front. They're going to, of course, be riding for Chloe Dygert, 5-time world champion on the track, world record holder. She's beaten her own world record in a day before. She's truly an astonishing talent at just 21 years old. And I'd be very interested today to see how that speed on the track, that audacity, that tenacity she's got on the track translate onto the road, because obviously this isn't 4 minutes. This is a stage race.
You saw the USA Cycling national team try to move up, but 2020 just too strong for them as they struggle to take control. A couple other teams trying to move up the left side of the peloton. That looks like Rally trying to move up in the orange jerseys to me. So it's a real fight for position up at the front right now.
I also saw Trek Drops up there as well. They've got a track rider, Manon Lloyd, out here. Joined the team for the first time, of course, a British outfit. And she'll be looking to make her mark on this sprint as well, coming out with track legs here. They'll be fast, but will they have the endurance? That's the question.
Even some chaos at the back as these riders try to pick up their teammates and try to get a train together, but a brutal pace being set on the front here.
You've got Canyon SRAM at the moment very much just sitting back and just letting the rest of the teams do a lot of this work, and that's potentially a clever move as we see once again a Huggins-Berman Superman Pro Cycling rider just chancing it here.
Wow, another big move from the Huggins-Berman Superman team. All the respect in the world to these ladies today. What a great ride from this squad. Field going to bring her back though, but a valiant attempt. This squad has been great today.
They have definitely been the most aggressive team, and I'm sure they will get plaudits in plenty. As we see now, the black and orange of Wiggle High Five, that train just steamrolling through, and to the side of them, Sunweb as well. The black and white kit on the left-hand side of the road there, of course, all in today for Corinne Rivera, Californian-born, and looking for her first win as well of 2018.
Inside 2 kilometers to go, they'll see the red kite soon. Chaos up on the front, the team train starting to form. You see a few riders who have missed their trains trying to get up there, trying to help and trying to contribute to their team efforts to try to set up a sprint.
Absolutely, it's tough on the back when you've done your turn. You've got to sit in the bunch and try and stay in there and hope for the best out front. And of course, for the GC riders, it's all about staying safe as well, because these wide roads mean that actually the sprints can be pretty chaotic. The trains will weave all over the roads. Sprinters will jump from train to train, trying to work out who's got the best wheel and who's the best rider to actually follow. And here is where you start to see all chaos begin to happen with the Flamme Rouge 1K to go, and Canyon SRAM on front right now, of course, for their sprinter Alexis Ryan. She's had a breakthrough spring. She won Drensa Acta. She was second in Ronda van Gelenta. She's looking for her first World Tour win. Will she get it here today? Canyon SRAM are all in right now for her.
Alexis Ryan racing in this race with her sister Kendall Ryan, who's racing for the Tibco SVB squad, but now comes Sunweb up the side. This is a big move for Sunweb. Corinne Rivera down to just one lead out rider. This may be too early.
She's second wheel already. That's not a good sign. I think she may hit the front just that little bit too early, and like we said, there is a headwind down this finishing straight, and so if you do hit the front too early, we've got a crash here.
Yeah, this is going to be a 2020 rider who's gone down. Looks like got caught up with one of the Wiggle High Five riders, and
it looks like Chloe Dygert to me. That is such a shame. The 5-time world champion on the track, and she is down. She was one of those contenders for the sprint, but here it is. The riders are hitting the front now.
Back to the field sprint. That's Emma White in the orange jersey for the Rally Cycling Team. Kendall Ryan right on her wheel. Corinne Rivera a little caught out in the white jersey for Sunweb. She's a little far back. Rivera needs to move up. Here comes Kendall Ryan. She's moved up to the front, and Ryan gets a huge win in her home state. Kendall Ryan wins Stage 1 in Elk Grove.
What a stunning victory that was for her, and by some distance relatively in a sprint as well. I think we saw Emma White there. She probably, I think, took second, just held on for that. And we also had Nettie Edmondson for Wiggle High Five on the left-hand side of your screen, sprinting into third, but it was close between the bunch behind. But this victory, all about Kendall Ryan, and look how happy she is. The biggest win of her career so far, no doubt about it. Her first World Tour win, and look what it means to her.
So a big stage win for Kendall Ryan, but that also means that she'll be wearing the yellow jersey heading into the day tomorrow. She is 4 seconds ahead of Emma White, 6 seconds ahead of Annette Edmondson, and Alexis Ryan at 4th place at 10 seconds. That's going to be the story for most of the GC favorites heading into the climbing day tomorrow. Winder, Niwadoma, Hall, Garnier, Sierra, all at 10 seconds down. Dygert did finish today for the 2020 team. We'll have to wait to see if she starts tomorrow. So those are the GC favorites, but today it was all about Kendall Ryan.
I'm joined now by a very emotional Kendall Ryan of Team Tibco. Tears are flowing here, Kendall. Can you sum up what this means for you, a World Tour stage win?
It means everything. I've been waiting for a win for a while this year, and I'm so overjoyed. I think every breath just left my body because I was just so happy to win, and yeah, that's why you see me screaming. But yeah, I'm so happy. My team never gave up on me, and they absolutely emptied themselves just so I could be there for the sprint, and I gave it my everything, and I'm just happy that I could make it happen for them.
And just how proud will you be tomorrow? Try and sum it up, to wear a yellow jersey in your home state.
I've never worn a yellow jersey, so it means a lot, and that's why I'm just like, I can't even talk. But yeah, and especially in my home state and where I grew up, and I mean, it's huge, and I'm just so excited because my whole family's here, and all my friends are cheering for me online, and I'm just like, I'm so overjoyed. It's just a huge stage for our team.
And can you talk me through that final kilometre and what exactly went on? Because it's pretty chaotic by all accounts.
It was absolutely crazy. Yeah, I mean, my teammates, they lined it up on the right. We were next to Wiggle, and they just one by one popped off until they couldn't drag race them anymore. And then my last teammate Ingrid just held on to the back of the train with me, and it was just chaotic. We were diving people, and that last corner was really when everything just blew up, and it was just like the scrum of the sprinters left. And I'm pretty sure I just blacked out and like just let my body take over. But yeah, I saw Emma White go for it, and yeah, I saw her and I'm like, I just gotta dig deep and just try to make it by her. But I didn't think that I could come by her, but I did. So it was pretty nuts.
And we've got another sprint stage,
yeah.
Stage 3. Have you even thought about your chances there?
You know, it's crit style, which is, you know, one of my strong suits, and yeah, the second stage for me is just going to be all about survival, and I'm just going to absolutely kill myself for my teammates like they did for me today. And yeah, the third stage, I want to go for it again. I have some confidence under my belt now, so I'm feeling good about Saturday.
Kendall, congratulations, and enjoy wearing that jersey tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Kendall Ryan shocks the field to win Stage 1 and move into the overall lead here at the Amgen Tour of California. The road goes uphill tomorrow for Stage 2 as the race heads to Lake Tahoe for the Amgen Tour of California, empowered with SRAM.